Hey everyone, today I'm excited to introduce you to our project To Be Free, which is all about our food and its impact on our planet. We are tackling issues like greenhouse gases, disrupted ecosystems, and water waste. Food production is central to fixing these problems, and we are not leaving it to the experts alone. We are using innovative gaming technology to engage people like you and me in discussions about transforming food production. Before we dive into the tech, let's start with a story to highlight why food, nature, and engagement are crucial. Imagine a young man who 20 years ago took a countryside road trip with his dad. They encountered buzzing pollinators everywhere, nature thriving. Fast forward to today, that young man is now a father himself, taking his own child on a similar journey. But what's different? Those buzzing pollinators are gone, replaced by the hum of machines on farms. Nature's diversity has suffered. Why share this story? It illustrates the deep connection between food, farming, and these essential pollinators. As we move forward, we'll explore why engaging with these issues is vital, not just for us, but for our entire world. Therefore, we intend to create a game that combines education and entertainment, engaging people of all ages in the food production process in an interactive and enjoyable manner, rather than leaving relevant policies confined to lines of text.
In our certain case, the food supply chain involves farmers, beekeepers, and retailers responsible for sales. These three entities have interdependent relationships. We hope to let everyone know the current situation and hope that they can all develop in a more balanced way. For instance, if companies continually exploit farmers' earnings, farmers might resort to more aggressive farming methods like intensive farming to meet demands. However, such methods could lead to the disappearance of pollinators.
While some are collaboration for mutual gain, the overall situation isn't rosy. Let's dive into some data.
Our current agricultural system often exacerbates social inequality. Big corporations control price and supply chains, forcing small-scale farmers into intensive pesticide-heavy farming. Honey is in high demand in the UK, but farming practice reduce bee populations, leading to heavy reliance on honey imports. This not only affects bee population, but also contributes to the carbon footprint of imported honey. Pollinators like bees are declining due to habitat loss, pesticide use, and climate change. They are crucial for pollinating about 95% of UK crops, worth 690 pound million annually. Current farming practice rely heavily on synthetic fertilizers. Rising fertilizer prices in the UK increase energy costs for farmers and contributes to food shortages. The UK government permits pesticide use on sugar beets, which cause significant harm to wild honeybee populations.
What are the government's efforts to address these difficulties?
Over the years, the UK has implemented various policies to support sustainable farming practices and protect pollinators. These strategies aim to safeguard the health of crucial pollinators such as bees and butterflies. The focus is on habitat creation, restoration, pesticide reduction, raising awareness, and conducting research to better comprehend and preserve these essential creatures.
Building on these strategies, policies like SFI and IPHB promote bee-friendly practice among farmers and beekeepers, emphasizing ecological aspects. However, there may be gaps in supporting farmers' income and welfare. The government also via diverse pollinator strategy have a comprehensive plan focused on education, public engagement, and celebration. This strategy aims to educate people about pollinators, involve fertilizers in conservation, and build partnership across sectors.
Supported by those policies, numerous organizations and associations are dedicated to promoting beekeeping and environmental education. The BBKA, along with other organizations, places a strong emphasis on providing professional training, organizing public events, and engaging in public service activities. Most importantly, they collaborate with schools to offer engaging educational experiences. For instance, students visit local farms, engage in hands-on crafts, and learn about the industry's operations.
However, even with all the efforts made by governments and organizations, the situation for pollinators and the ecosystem remains bleak. Over the short term, a greater proportion of species were declining than increasing. Bees, especially wild solitary bees and bumblebees, are in serious decline in the UK and globally. In the UK, we have already lost around 13 species and another 35 are currently at risk.
Our location is in Tamworth, to the east of Birmingham. As a crucial intersection point of the bee line in the UK, this area boasts abundant natural resources and attracts numerous schools and farms. This provides an excellent venue for our upcoming engaging tour. Broomingcroft Children's Farm is an ideal location for our engaging tour. It aligns perfectly with our educational mission. Notably, it receives funding from the SFI to host students' visits, providing an opportunity for real-world learning about agriculture sites, policies, beekeeping, farming practices, and livestock grazing. This makes it a valuable partner for our project.
Now introduce our two-tier gaming tool, a holistic learning experience. Children with guidance from adults explore beekeeping and land management through strategy board game. A Figma website offers policy insights and the digital Unreal Adventure mirrors the board game, connecting both tiers for an engaging learning journey that empowers kids to protect our environment and bees. Let's dive into Figma prototype first.
The Figma website is a hub of knowledge and exploration. Choose a character and dive deeper into their world. Discover things like bee competition, short-term agri-food system, and explore case studies on different types of apiaries. You can also learn about the policies that shape the game through our interactive policy cards. From sustainable farming practices to bee-friendly regulations, real traces that impact the landscape and beekeeping outcomes. It also allows you to engage with farmers and share photos for a dynamic community experience.
Next, we dive into our board game. Let's talk about the evolution of the game first. First, we started with a hexagonal area rich in terrain and abundant land types. We divided this area into smaller hexagons, each covering 8 hectares. These smaller hexagons were grouped into 10 different land types. Then, they were further organized and divided into larger hexagons, each covering 120 hectares. This formed the initial layout of our game map. Here you can see the transformation of the different land types and how we refine the map. We carefully assessed the land types in each smaller hexagon, and based on the quantity of land types within each larger hexagon, we meticulously defined their land types. Now let's talk about the evolution of the roads. There are 3 types of road sections: along, intersection, and midpoint. These 3 types can be combined in pairs, resulting in 6 different road patterns that collectively form the road structure on our game map. After numerous iterations, we arrived at the game map you see today. Simultaneously, our game rules underwent several rounds of testing and iteration, starting from the initial paper game, data analysis, transitioning to wooden board prototypes, and finally arriving at the current board game model. Welcome to the To Be Free game, where strategy meets land occupation. Let's dive in. Part 1. Game Setup. First, set up the game board as shown. It's the main map with policy cards around it. Each player has role-specific facility models in drawers for easy reference. The game features 3 roles: retailer, beekeeper, and farmer. Players choose their roles. Front side of role cards, icon, name, unique abilities, and land types you can occupy. Back of role card, starting resources, 40 tokens and coins for your role. These represent the facilities you can build on different land types. Place your character card and decide the starting player with a quick game of rock, paper. So, what's the gameplay like? Starting with the first player and moving clockwise. Each player takes turns following these 4 steps every round. First, occupation. Players can claim empty land of their type or open it for cooperation. As indicated on their character cards, they can also seize land held by other players using single tokens. Each player can place up to 4 tokens per round. Second, judgment. If a player seizes another's land, they face judgment based on the disasters on the back of the seized player's token. Third, policy support. Players can choose to spend resource coins to gain policy support, safeguarding their facilities from disasters. Fourth, profit. As the round ends, players receive resource coins from the bank based on the number of tokens they have on the map. Quick expansion yields higher profits but higher risks, while cooperation offers lower returns with reduced risks. When there are no more available land spaces for the current player to place tokens on the game board, the game concludes. Scoring is done according to the rules. Placing a single token on the board earns 1 point. Placing 2 tokens and opening up cooperation but not succeeding doesn't earn any point. Placing 2 tokens and successfully cooperating with another player earns 1 point, and each resource coin is worth 1 point. The player with the highest cumulative score is the winner. Now, let's take a closer look at how to execute each action. Starting with occupation. On your turn, you need to place 4 tokens to perform this action. To place tokens, you have 2 options. You can choose to place a single token, which means that land is exclusively yours. Then, according to the rules, you can place the corresponding facility model on the token. Alternatively, you can choose to place double tokens on the same land, indicating that it's open for cooperation. Then, you can place a facility model representing cooperation on top of them. During other players' turns, they can also choose to place double tokens on this land, signifying a successful cooperation. It's important to know that land occupied by a single token can be invaded by other players during their turns and might be vulnerable to disasters. However, land with double tokens signifying cooperation is more stable and less susceptible to destruction. Here is an overview of the facility model placement rules. When you take someone else's land instead of empty land, it's time for the judgment action. Flip over the owner's token to see which disaster it represents. There are 5 disasters, each affecting specific land types: drought, flooding, insect infestation for beekeepers, and market crash for retailers. Now let's talk about policy support. Each character has 3 unique policy cards reflecting real policies. These cards protect against specific disasters and have a resource coin cost which is shown in the upper right corner of the card. Players can choose whether to acquire them and place the protective shield on the one of their facilities. Finally, let's talk about earning. After all actions are done, players get resource coins based on their tokens left on the board. 1 coin for 1 token, no coins for tokens in cooperation but not yet successful, and successful cooperation earns both players 1 coin each. Tokens destroyed by disasters yield no coins. For instance, this round, the beekeeper earns 2 coins. For a deeper and more strategy experience, advanced rules can be applied, following the unique abilities on each character card while keeping the other processes the same. However, this may extend the game duration, which we won't demonstrate here. Now, let's move on to a live gameplay session. Finally, let's move on to the game section created using Unreal Engine.
The Unreal Engine focuses more on helping 7 to 12 years olds realize the importance of implementing bee-friendly policies. Through the 4-man scenario presented by the Unreal Engine and the NPCs in each scenario, children can learn about the dilemma of wild bees in the respective scenario through dialogue and are guided in choosing how to cooperate. Meanwhile, the interactive experience is enhanced by simulated construction. After completing the tasks in the previous scenario, to enter the next scenario, this scenario will have more complex tasks. After understanding the benefits of rewarding commercial bees, the player needs to set out to find the gold coins, eat them to get the corresponding policy skills. After collecting all the gold coins, the player can implement these policies in the places where there are tokens set. Of course, in different scenarios, players can also choose the business mode, and build commercial facilities, but there is a potential risk of triggering natural disasters.
Utilizing this engaging tool, students can acquire knowledge and insights about bees and the beekeeping industry in a highly captivating manner. It also empowers them for more meaningful interaction during their field trips to actual farms. This closed-loop approach effectively strengthens our educational objectives.
Above is the entirety of our project content. Thank you.